safe.
Yeah, stay safe.
Yeah, but I'm here anyway, so.
Okay.
And Timmy, this is Jennifer Clark, I'm here as well.
Okay,
Hi,
sounds good.
Jennifer. Nice.
Hi.
Okay, well, I guess we'll go ahead and get started then.
Yes, that
So
would be great.
this is the January 16th, 2025 meeting of the Merrill Enrichment Committee. And just so that those joining us on the call knows who's here, we'll just go around and introduce. I'm Laura Bertinelli.
Carol Holtz.
Tammy Maracek.
Mark Wakes, Alderman of the 7th Ward.
Jay Telesky.
Elizabeth McCray.
Hallie Saval.
Great, all right. Consent items, approval of the November 24 meeting minutes.
I had sent those over to everybody. Did you get a chance to review them?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just had one correction, perhaps.
Oh.
If you look, thank you.
Okay.
That's the one I had, yeah, okay. So under the ADRC, just
Yes.
taking out the not, I think
Oh.
you meant to say they will be, have to be creative or something, I can't remember what
Okay.
the line was.
Okay, thank you.
That was the only. Anything else on those November minutes?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
I'll second it.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, approval of the November, December vouchers.
That's the sheet I
Oh.
provided to you all.
Oh, okay.
Highlight.
So this is 2024.
Yes, this is December,
Okay.
November, December. Some of them. So yes, and then if you see that, of course, we're positive, but if you see the year to date, that's what I have in all of my calculations, but I am still waiting to get the official financial document from Emily. So, but we're just roughly $11,400. So very,
Is that net?
very good. Yes.
That's net.
Yes, yeah, so we're doing well. I believe the plan was for them to still take the 10,000, so.
Okay, that's what I was gonna
yeah.
ask. So that has not been taken out of here?
Correct, that's what
Okay.
we were profited.
Okay.
For the year, so yeah, she said, we'll probably have them for sure by our next meeting, but if she gets them to us before, I will probably just send them over to you via email, so you can look over them.
Any other discussion on that?
Where did we get this 600 for the endowment, or can't you say?
In the last few months of the year,
I mean, can you say from whom, or?
No.
You can't, okay.
no. Confidential, unless they choose to.
Unless they would choose, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. They chose not to, okay.
Yeah,
It seems like, and maybe you'll talk about, the GD's classes are higher numbers, at least since the beginning of the year. I mean, now, I don't know how they were,
yeah,
but
yes,
Seems like
so we're getting to that part
Okay.
of it, yeah.
any other discussion for the November, December vouchers?
I'll move approval.
A second.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, public comment.
Hi.
Hi.
This is where I come in.
Yeah.
My name is Hallie Saval, and I am the social media specialist for the city of Merrill, and I'm also the new fairgrounds coordinator. So I just wanted to come in and introduce myself. I'll be working towards renting out the expo center and the fairgrounds to a larger capacity. So if you guys, I plan on being here at least quarterly, so if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to reach out. I'm on the city website with a city email, so.
So social media specialist and the second title,
Fairgrounds coordinator.
fairgrounds coordinator.
Is that a new position in the city? Yeah.
Rick
Congratulations.
Bjorklund was doing the fairgrounds coordinating, he resigned, and I floated into that space.
So are you the media
Yep.
marketing person too?
I'm not gonna say marketing because I'm not a marketer, but I run the social media, so Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and stuff like that, so kind of.
Kind of like what Vicky does for us here,
Yeah.
but she does for the city.
Did the city not employ a regular marketing person a couple of years ago? Is that
Yes,
different
she,
from what they-
that's different. I've been here for 2 years, but Chantel was the,
Chantel, yeah.
yes, and she is no longer here.
Oh, I see. I get you.
And there's no one in that role.
No, we went with a marketing firm, which is Midwest Communications, and that's who we work with for marketing.
Hmm.
Do you see other uses of the fairgrounds and?
Well, we have the Food Truckapalooza, we have, this year is new, we're having Zerko, flea markets come in. So they used to be out of Anago, but they're moving to this fairgrounds for the feasibility of it. And they're also gonna be running out of Eagle River. So they have 3 shows this spring and summer, and hopefully that'll grow as well.
With us they have?
Yep, with the
And
fairgrounds.
what is the name of it?
Zerko, Zurko, flea markets.
So they'll have 3 in Merrill,
Mm-hmm, right at the
Awesome.
fairgrounds, yeah.
and weekend type things?
I believe so, I think they rented it out for Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, wow.
So
That's
then they
great.
have, so people from here can like get spots, or how does that work?
That I don't know, I haven't had contact with them yet.
And is that gonna be in an expo?
Nope, that'll
It's gonna
be
be on the
outdoors,
grounds,
yes.
outdoors? Oh, wow, that's great.
Yeah, so,
Kelly, is there a sort of a mandate or a plan? For instance, are there benchmarks, like the city would like to see a certain percentage more? Or is there anything on paper right now that is planned out that sort of targeting? Or is it?
no, not yet.
Or are they
This-
waiting to see what your thoughts are once you've seen
Right.
it for a while?
I have ideas of what I wanna do, and it's just to execute some of the first beginning ideas that I've had, to see if those take any grasp, and then we'll move on from there. We haven't really talked about goals yet, but we have a calendar that Tammy, Krista, and I are in, and I'm gonna keep track of all the tours that I do and stuff like that, so we can actually see a tangible result.
So would you say where you're at right now is sort of a research phase, and you'll be working with Tammy and her staff to kind of take stock of what has been and you know, things like
In
that?
terms kind of, yes. I'll be working closely with them to see what we can do to grow.
Together, yes,
Mhm.
is that what your question
Yeah,
is? Yes, yes,
Cool,
yeah.
great, thank
Well,
you.
you know, one of the things we talked about a few years ago when we were dealing with the grandstand was hookups.
Yep.
And I don't deal with, my family doesn't deal with rodeos anymore, but we used to. And, you know, a lot of the folks who come here a day or 2 days early. And the hookup issue for some of them, they've actually gone to the council grounds because they could hook up or drain themselves rather than wait to go here, because the line over here can be a
Right.
problem.
I don't know that we'll have hookups here, but I know we have 20 spots for a campground now.
Yeah, well, I know that too, and that was one of the other issues with some of the folks who were here for horse shows, is that if they could get here 3, 4, 5 days earlier
Yep.
and spend the week in Merrill
That would
before
be
the horse
beneficial,
show,
yes.
would be very beneficial. But the big issue seemed, and I feel bad about it, because we almost had the hookup thing planned
Yep,
and accomplished a few years back, but then it got taken off.
gotcha.
And it's a big deal to campers to be able to hook up locally instead of having to
Dump
pack
somewhere
up and
else.
go down the road. And
Yeah.
I don't know if that's still been on the table lately.
I haven't heard anything about doing a hookup or a dump station,
Really?
because the one is pretty close by,
Yeah.
so.
But you understand what I mean? If
I
I come here on
totally-
a Sunday
Yep.
and want to stay till the horse show is on Friday, Saturday next week, but I
Yep,
come a few days early,
might have to go to the
then
dump
I have to
station,
pack
yeah.
up and go down the road for a hookup to drain.
Yeah,
And that's been a pain in the rear. That's why the polka people didn't like coming here too.
gotcha. I will definitely bring that up to Rod and see what we can come up with, or if that's even a possibility in the future.
Do you remember what happened, Jean? That
Well,
kind
at the
of
time,
cinched
all
it?
we wanted is to have one hookup by each bathroom. You know, and we didn't think that was really that big an issue.
Gotcha.
But for some reason, it was opposed by a couple people, and so it died. But it wouldn't have been a big issue at the time we were doing bathrooms
Okay.
Right,
to figure out a hookup.
lost
Because
opportunity.
if you want to bring in more horse shows and more rodeo stuff,
Right.
and it's a big deal for women in particular.
Yes.
Just two questions, and maybe Mark can answer them. The trees obviously were cut down on Memorial Drive, and I read why, because they were old and concerned. Is there any thought of building anything in that area? That's my first question. The second question is, how does the armory that's gone now fit into the fairgrounds? So those are my two questions on that end of the facility.
Yeah, the trees are felt to be way mature and power lines are nearby. The rodeo is going to put fencing around, decorative fencing around the fairgrounds.
All the way around?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I can't say much about the National Guard building, but there's some good things going on there, which the city is looking to acquire. And that's an ongoing process, but it'll be a nice facility.
Can you answer at least, Mark, whether the facility has been made available? Because there's different discussions around town about whether it was even gonna be possible to be made available for.
It's being negotiated right now. I can't say
So that's owned by the state of Wisconsin?
Yeah, I think by the National Guard, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's negotiations going on right now.
But the state has no use for it, they told us
No.
they have no
Right,
use for
I
it.
see they got the sign down even, that
Yeah.
it's not an armory anymore.
Right.
But for your purposes of different kinds of marketing, I would think that would be a good project for the city to, I don't know what we could do to encourage it out of this group, but
I think we gotta just see what happens.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, but I think things are going in the right direction.
Someone had said there's some large water ice thing being made. What is that for?
Oh, they have ice racing. So
Ice racing.
even this
okay.
weekend, they have ice races on an oval track in front of the grandstand that they rented out. I think there's 3 more races going on this year.
Okay.
They started off with 4. They're not renting the expo center. They did bring in porta potties, and they have some sort of warming station, which I hope they have for this weekend.
Oh, my.
Yeah, right,
Uh,
right.
But it's a great use to get the grandstand views more than just during the summer.
Okay.
And safer than going on the river.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is, yes.
this year's so far now.
Well, I'm happy to see the city added a position to help, I think, market in quotes.
Yeah, I
Merrill.
I didn't go to school for marketing, so I don't,
Right, I understand, yeah, but
I don't wanna claim that title and just, I'm here.
And we're happy.
make the public more aware of what's going on.
Very true.
I think that,
Very much so.
Well, we appreciate you coming and your ongoing attendance. That's great. Thank you. All right, any other questions? Can we move on? Or any other public comment that anyone wanted to share?
I don't know if it's included in your discussion below, but I'd like to reemphasize the number of people and the people who missed the quilting show. But the quilting thing is a fabulous demonstration of bringing people into this facility and into Merrill. And not unlike the last couple years we've done it, I talked to several people who felt bad that for different reasons they were gone that weekend or whatever, but most everybody who attended that quilting thing was so impressed again.
It's a
And
unique
It's really a
offering.
top notch.
It
Yeah.
is,
it is
it is,
people who have some real talent.
We're looking
Yes.
at you.
very admirable.
It'll be back next year.
And it
Yes.
was beautiful.
It will,
It was beautiful.
yeah.
Okay.
Yes, one other public comment. The guys group that meets here lost 3 members to death since our last meeting. And 2 of those families said to me, and I think Jean, how much their father, grandfather, whatever, husband, enjoyed coming here and how important it was for them. You know, they weren't able to participate a lot because of their aging issues, but they were here and they enjoyed it, and they understood what was going on, and they did participate to the best that they could. So there's 3 individuals, and they all passed away recently. But so we're trying to get more people involved too, and I think we will be able to. But again, there's a lot of benefit to people that really can't participate a lot, but just enjoy coming here and having that socialization.
Right.
I think it's a valuable group.
Yep.
Some of the topics are gross.
Truth be told.
We spent an hour and a half talking about funerals.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
It will be heavy, yeah.
It's whatever the topic may be.
Yeah.
That wasn't today.
Was it last time we talked about calling cards, or I think you would ask, is that something you were able to get to hand out? Did you-
No,
The what?
Kind of a calling card that came up the
Oh,
last
like a
time we
business
met?
card
Business
type thing,
card.
yeah, we're working on this on our
maybe
agenda.
we could put the times on there, like now that we expanded to Monday.
Yeah, we'll need a bigger card.
Oh, you extended so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday?
We just said Monday,
Yes.
Tuesday, Thursday, 10 a.m. That's enough.
Yeah, that's true,
You
that's
don't
true.
have to go any further than that.
That's true, yeah. I have to add the Monday. I'm gonna make a note of that.
And I should say too, the ladies do such a good job. They provide us coffee, and the guys all throw money on the table, so hopefully we don't cost the place any money, but it's just a hospitality thing to be able to come here, and some of them, that's all they want is a cup of coffee.
And I think just the fact that you've had that consistency, people can come, if they don't come every time, if they know you're here, and
Right.
that's huge.
And Jay, I go to physical therapy because I had a stroke. Jay comes here because he needs judge therapy.
That's what I tell my wife, I'm going to therapy, so. I'm leaving, so.
The best
And
kind.
Jean's my therapist.
Yeah, there you go.
As a non-guy, this is very intriguing.
Yeah.
What do you guys do?
It's closed door, don't you know?
That's funny.
All right, okay, ADRC updates. Jennifer?
Hi, yep, I do have a few things that I just wanted to bring up. So one, I think last month we had talked about the Meals on Wheels changes that we have coming up. So I do have some clarification regarding Meals on Wheels, or our senior nutrition program. 2025, I think I mentioned at our last meeting, 2025 is going to be a really challenging year for our Meals on Wheels budget. And this is actually really true throughout the state of Wisconsin as well, not just for our region. So we have spent months and months analyzing how we need to kind of prioritize our budget for this upcoming year. So we did nail down just a few things that I just wanted to report. One is that our Tomahawk location, Meals on Wheels and senior dining are not going to be provided on Fridays anymore, and that's effective starting February 10th. And then this is kind of the big kicker, region-wide, we are actually changing Meals on Wheels service for those who receive a total of 5 meals per week, and they will end up having to drop down to 4 meals per week. So we are kind of in the midst of getting that information out right now into our Tomahawk area, just because that's kind of where we're starting. And we're starting to begin kind of that communication with our customers, our volunteers, and some of our community partners to let them know what those changes are. But essentially, it's been a really, really hard decision, and I feel really bad for our nutrition team that's had to make some of those changes, and then also talk with some of our customers that really do rely a lot on those meals. And so it's a really unfortunate conversation that we need to have. So lots of conversation about how, it's really important that we talk to our elected officials on how important the program is, and how it supports our older adults in our communities. I just want to also put a plug in that Aging Advocacy Days are coming up on May 13th this year. So I just think this is a great way to kind of discuss those issues with our officials and kind of keep that at the forefront, because it is a really important program. So that was one update that I had. And then I also just wanted to report our need for advisory committee members in Lincoln County. So I know, Tammy, we're going to pump something into your newsletter on this. I appreciate that. But our advisory committee is kind of that liaison between ADRC and the community. So typically, we cover the counties of Lincoln, Langlade, Marathon, and Wood County. So typically, we have 2 to 3 representatives from each of our committees, on that committee. And we are actually looking for 2, possibly even 3 for Lincoln County. So we really need somebody in the community that can pop on. The advisory committee meets virtually every other month on the 4th Wednesday from 10 to noon. And we are able to have that virtual meeting out within our office. So if someone has an inability to join from their home computer or are comfortable jumping on from their home computer, I know Christina in our office is great about getting that set up for them. So if you know of anybody who would like to be involved with our committee, we are looking for someone right now, or 2 people, I should say, right now. So I think those are the only 2 updates. Are there any questions on either one of those?
Yes.
If
That's a lot of it.
if I may. So thank you, Jennifer. This is Elizabeth McCrank, and I just want to know, in reference to the Meals on Wheels program, if ADRC is still participating in the stock boxes program.
We are not. We help promote the Stockbox program. Tammy, do you have any information on? I don't actually know where that's left off for 2025. Do you know anything on that?
As far as I'm aware, Stephanie could confirm as well. I think the UW Extension, not here, but elsewhere, if I'm not mistaken, is it Rhinelander? We're still a pickup place here for the stock boxes rather.
Okay.
So it's on our calendar for that as well, to continue that offering.
Okay.
As just the place, but they're the ones who administer
Are actually
and
coordinating
administer
it.
Yes.
Okay. Yep. Great. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, so I know we kind of, like when we get dates and stuff, we'll help promote those. But yeah, we're not directly involved with the stock boxes anymore, unfortunately.
Okay.
Hi, this is Laura. I just had a question about the 5 meals going down to 4. Is that like everyone gets Monday through Thursday and not Friday, or how's that going to work?
So my understanding is that it really kind of depends on a person's location, first of all, like where they reside. Because we also have to look at the amount of money that we're spending on travel to some of our, further out locations. So it really depends on how many meals they're currently getting, where they're located, and how we're kind of building our routes out. So I would say most people are going from 5 to 4, and yeah, that would be like a Monday through Thursday. However, it could look like if they're on a Tuesday Thursday route, they could supplement with some frozen meals as well, to equal the 5 meals. So it just again really kind of depends on a person's location and where they're at and how our routes are built. If that makes sense.
Yep.
It's a lot of logistics.
Yeah. And then do you know when that will be starting? I know you mentioned the Tomahawk would start February 10th, but for others?
I do not. I know that we have made some phone calls, and so people are starting to get that information. In fact, I just got a letter that's being shared to a lot of our Meals on Wheels customers. I know Erin's been busy calling people as well, so they are making some personal phone calls to let people know, but I'm not sure. I would assume like in February as well.
Yeah, okay,
But I don't know for
sure.
Could I ask, I didn't hear Jennifer, are you supplementing the Thursday meal to provide something for Friday, or did I hear you differently?
No, so Friday is like our meal site will be completely closed. We won't have meals on Fridays, and then Meals on Wheels we will not have on Fridays either. So potentially, people would get like either 4 days, Monday through Thursday, of hot meals, or again, depending on the route they're on, if they're needing 4 meals, we could supplement with some frozen. It just really depends on the person's situation and where they're located.
I don't know if I still heard her.
With frozen, they could supplement with frozen.
Oh, I see.
Was that the?
Depending
Yeah,
on,
yeah.
yeah.
When you
depending on
say
where they are.
supplemented with frozen, does that mean then they would have 5 meals?
Well, they'd have an
No,
addition to
they would
Thursday's
still
meal.
have 4.
They would still just have.
Just 4?
Yeah.
Right, yeah, so if they got like a Tuesday, Thursday hot meal delivery, potentially on Thursday, they might get 2 frozen meals to equal their 4 total, if that makes sense.
So Jennifer, to clarify, some people don't get meals every single day. They might just get meals 2 days of the week.
Yeah, yep,
Right.
thank you for clarifying that, Penny. Yeah, so some people are on Monday through Friday, historically in the past, we've had people on meals Monday through Friday, depending on their location. Again, more so in the city where it's easier to get, our volunteers out and can get on those routes. So for instance, like Jenny Towers would be a great example. Like someone there, if they needed meals 5 days a week, we're probably getting them just because it's in town and it's close. Where some of our like outer lying, neighborhoods and things, they might only get 2 meals a week, 2 hot meals, but might be able to supplement with some frozen meals in place of for the rest of the week, if that helps.
Does that
What's
make
the
sense?
rationale for this?
Pardon me?
What's the rationale for this?
Jennifer, is it cost? Is it based on cost?
The funds.
The funding?
Yeah.
ARPA
So we
funding,
are
right?
we are seeing a significant cut in funding for Meals on Wheels. And so we need to tighten up our budget this year in terms of what our meals are actually funded through the federal Older Americans Act dollars. Some of it through contributions from customers. Some is being paid by, the long-term care programs. We have some county dollars that go into there, and then just within the past 2 years, we had some COVID relief funding,
right.
which we call ARPA funding, but that was discontinued in 2025. So, yeah, we've needed to kind of look at how to be creative.
Yes.
Jennifer's, a couple of the guys who come to our group meeting here are part of the Meals on Wheels, and I know they're kind of desperate about this. We were talking about it a few times, and the concern some of them indicated was that if they were coming into town to eat at a restaurant on some of those other days, would that disqualify them from Meals on Wheels?
Yeah, I mean, we'd obviously look at someone's situation in its entirety, but essentially Meals on Wheels is really geared toward individuals that are homebound. So homebound meaning they have a lot of difficulty getting out into the community to either go grocery shopping or to have, a meal at a restaurant. They're really pretty limited to home. Other than, maybe getting out for appointments, which a lot of times we see caregivers help with. So it's really geared toward people who are essentially more homebound and have that difficulty getting out and about. Or it could be that they have difficulty preparing meals. I just spoke with a lady the other day who has had some pretty significant health changes, and just she gets really exhausted just even standing up by the stovetop to do a lot of cooking. So then she relies on a lot of just frozen meals that she's getting from the grocery store and things too, which we know end up with a lot of sodium, and so she's just not really eating a well-balanced diet. So we do look at, the entirety of a person's situation. But yeah, essentially homebound.
Jennifer, what are the numbers in the greater Merrill area that get Meals on Wheels?
Oh gosh, I have not asked that in a while. I'm not sure how many in Lincoln County are getting. I can definitely ask if that's of interest in
I know
update
it
next
probably
month.
fluctuates.
Well, it just was, I think,
Yeah.
shocked all of us last time when you talked about 40,000 meals or something being, it was gonna go down by 40,000 meals. I mean, it's hard to even imagine at the
Yeah.
beginning even serving that many, let alone that's just the decrease, so it's such a need.
Yeah, and there has been, I apologize for even, so 40,000, I learned that it's actually not 40,000 meals, it kind of equates to that, but they look at it more in a, like, budget amount. So they were kind of equating it to 40,000 meals,
Oh.
but actually we could cut our budget through, like, you know, it could be through a variety of different ways. It doesn't necessarily mean meals, but it could be, you know, volunteer mileage or, you know, the cost of getting some of those meals out to folks as well. So,
Yeah,
hopefully that.
I don't mean to
That
belabor
makes
the
sense,
point,
right?
but to give you a specific example, Dave Donner comes into town to eat sometimes because he's worried now if he's only he lives way out in Pine River. And he's a 90-year-old single man whose wife died a few years back. And he was worried about losing Meals on Wheels because he's going to come into a restaurant to eat when you're not delivering Meals on Wheels to him. And I was kind of surprised that he would, at his age, has to worry about not getting Meals on Wheels, and coming in to eat with his son-in-law who brings him here. And I wasn't sure I understood that correctly.
Yeah. Again, I mean, I think it really depends on someone's situation. So it sounds like he's getting a ride into town for meals. And we still, it's being homebound doesn't mean that you can't ever go anywhere or do anything, but it means that it gets difficult for you to be able to do that. And or you need help or assistance from, you know, a family member or a friend in order to get out and do those things. So again, it's kind of a case by case basis, and we ask a lot of questions when someone is potentially eligible for a Meals on Wheels. We have to go through an entire assessment with them, and we physically go to their home and ask them lots of questions and things about how they're functioning at home and what's becoming more challenging. And part of that is too to make sure that they're getting everything that they need for services, not just Meals on Wheels, but are they needing some additional help in the home? Because really our goal is to kind of keep people out in the community or at home for as long as we can. So really looking at everybody's unique situation.
Jennifer, you mentioned a number of revenue sources that were cut back, or which ones were cut back, or which one was cut back the most that's causing you the most concern?
Let me just look in here quick. I was just popping up a document that was sent over to us. I want to say, well, obviously we've lost the COVID funding, the ARPA funding. Let's see. So no more ARPA funding grants. These extra dollars were from the pandemic that ended in 2024. Reduced grant funding. Let's see here. I want to say it was the federal dollars that we received. We actually, the Meals on Wheels, 42% of our Meals on Wheels in 2023 was funded through federal dollars, our Older Americans Act dollars, which is a pretty significant part of it. So I'm assuming that, and only 2% of our funding for Meals on Wheels comes from the state dollars. So I
Well,
would say federal.
his question was, I think, what is it now, $5 plus for a meal?
So that was the other, that's it, actually I'm glad you said that, that is another team. So Meals on Wheels is a contribution program. So we suggest a $5 contribution. In 2023, we asked for a $5 contribution towards a meal. If somebody had an inability to pay for that, they could pay what they could toward the program. So they just get like a monthly statement at the end of the month, which indicates the number of meals they've received and then what their donation could be. Again, people pay what they can toward the program. In
So-
2025, we have to up that $5 contribution to $6. And part of the reason for that is food costs. Food costs have gone up a significant amount, and so it's costing us more to get those meals. And really, the cost of that meal ends up being, from our caterer, it costs us something like, don't quote me on it, but it's something like $13 per meal. We're only asking for a contribution of $6 per meal. So, but yes, so because of the cost of food and things, you know, our catering our catering costs have increased about 40% since 2019. So some of that labor, supplies, fuel, you know, all of that goes into the food cost. So we are upping the suggested contribution this year.
I think it's a good point to note, Jay, just in terms of if it is mostly federal, then that would be, if we were gonna advocate or talk to someone or write someone, that would gear us in the right direction versus 2% for the state. Not that that isn't a lot, but, so
Right.
that's helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, anything else regarding ADRC? Thank you very much, Jennifer.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Jennifer.
you fielding all the questions as well.
Sure, and I can clarify it next meeting too, as we learn more just about like the meals we serve in the Merrill area or Lincoln County specifically too, and then where that funding is being cut. But I'm almost positive it was the federal dollars.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, moving
Yep.
on to operations. Christmas Joy recap.
Okay, so I can pass this around or send it to you via email. We did not have a sit-down meal again this year, but we put treats and cider out for our regular participants for the week. We had brass patina come and play, which was well attended, and also had snacks, cookies, coffee, and cider out for them. We did prepare 36 meals. We had 3 Church Mutual volunteers help pack those meals for us. And then the deliveries, of course, went out cold and uncooked because then they can make them whenever they would like. Our menu again was ham sliced from County Market. We did canned green beans this year. The fresh green beans last year were pretty nasty, so we figured it might be safer to go with the canned. Apples and oranges again from Quick Trip, and they were generous enough. Vicki always applies for gift cards for our outreach, and they were very generous. We still have money left over from that. Steak rolls from Walmart, and Jim Blair's cookies, of course, which were, he said he was gonna cut back. Not true. We are so thankful for him as well. So yes, and potatoes. So we also at Quick Trip got like baker potatoes as well and put those in. So they had a really great meal, and they could make it whenever they want, or probably enough, honestly, for a few meals, the amount that we were giving. The presents were bowl cozies made by our volunteers again, and then we had a can of soup in that. We bought some, I think, just chicken noodle soup, and put that in there. We had candy, lotion, chapstick. I think Laura helped us pack all those bags. Hot chocolate, cider, a 2025 calendar, and some cozy socks. So it's really that feel-good thing to be able to share that for people who are needing that. You might not have family around for the holidays. So then, of course, spending-wise, we had our containers, parchment paper, Ziploc bags, paper bags, but we didn't have a lot of overhead to do that. So yeah, so that was kind of that. Our volunteer page is in our November newsletter. I'll just pass it around so you can see all the smiling faces. Yeah, so February, I should say, February will be coming out. I was hoping to be here today, but it's not. So,
But it is online.
It's online.
So
Yep,
that's good.
yep.
Yeah.
Which is awesome that we have that. It just spits it out right away, and you know, as much as we proof it, there's always one thing. So Vicki changed it for the online, but we can't change it for print. It was minimal, but it still annoys us. So those tiny little things. But yeah, so any questions or comments on the Christmas Joy at all? And we'll continue doing that program, and I don't think it'll ever fizzle. So
Who received the gifts that you're packaging? if you attended, you got a gift, is that, no?
Are the people
The
who
bag
signed up for
recipients.
delivery of the
Oh,
meal
oh,
also
okay,
in
oh,
that box
those-
get
that
gifts,
group,
yes,
I see.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So they got something with their meal.
Yeah, they got a gift to open at Christmas, so, yeah, yeah.
Okay, exercise classes.
Yes, our attendance is through the roof.
Yeah.
So the last, which is a great thing to have, I'm just gonna give you the last invoice paid out to Gigi. So we pay her every 2 weeks, 189 participants.
Nice.
And it's early in the year.
And it's New Year's. So we'll see after the 17th. Isn't it the 17th that they say New Year's resolution starts to kind of, yeah, Hallie's like,
It's
yeah.
actually a day called Quitter's Day.
And that's what it is, but we're hopeful. We're hopeful that that's not gonna happen. And you know, even, so they're making those New Year's resolutions, they're coming in, but they're also seeing everything else that's going on, grabbing newsletters,
Yeah.
asking questions about the shop and how that works, and so we're hopeful that they stick around, which is good. Very excited about that.
I know you do have some people that go south in the next month or two, so you
Always,
lose some of
yeah.
that, yeah.
Yeah.
They're not quitting.
They're not
They leave.
quitting, they're
They're
just-
they're
traveling.
back. Yeah.
They're paused for a
pausing.
moment. They're pausing, and they go out west Arizona and south here and
Yeah.
there, and lucky, and so.
That 189 that was for just 2 weeks, basically.
2 weeks, well, 2 Mondays and 2 Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's upward to 50 people each session sitting. It's awesome.
It's really, I mean, the
It's
room's
way
just
back
getting-
now, yeah, it keeps growing back,
Nice.
which is just really fantastic to see.
And there is more, I think, have they done that socialization after, like Christmas time, like
Yeah.
they did this year? Was this the first time they did that?
No, that's the second time.
Second time?
Yeah.
Because they just did that after the classes and
Mhm.
had cookies and something.
Yeah, we had things out so that people could stick around after and
Yeah.
visit.
And Gigi encouraged that, and a number of people did, and I think there was a lot of connections that people made talking with each other, and it was just, it was
Yeah.
nice to, I think that just helps people keep coming.
It does,
Yeah.
it does. And then included with the walking too, they were aware that, and even if they don't come, they're sharing that with other people too. Hey, do you know, especially now?
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
so it's a good
I
thing.
came in on Monday, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was telling Tammy I had to park in the back 40.
Yeah, I know.
I
I
said,
know.
what is going on here?
Yes.
And she says
Yes.
it's chair yoga.
It's,
and
it's all
stuff.
the exercise, keeping
Full,
people
yeah,
well,
yeah.
so
Yeah, you gotta get here early to get a good spot, parking spot, yeah.
isn't that the truth? That is the truth. So very, very happy about that, exercise classes and attendance. Our strong body, I have a breakdown here. Stephanie was kind enough to do a statistic thing. I will probably email this to you as well, just for how, and again, this is with our check-in system. So that's the beauty of having that check-in system. Some people are like, why do I have to check in? So we can stay open. so they're like, oh, okay. So total event sign-ins, which would be classes, workshops, fitness, public service, I don't know what that breaks down to, I'll have to check. Recreation, entertainment, social activities, events, and special groups. From the first of the year, it breaks down by hours too. 570, but 218 of those are unduplicated.
Oh.
Nice.
So that's a really good
That's
thing.
Yeah.
And then hours, it's over 1,400. So then it breaks it down by fit, and I won't go through every one. Public service, it breaks them down individually, but that's the whole. And I'll get these to you because I think it's nice to see exactly. It helps us to know for me personally, where we're lacking and how we can fill that gap. So we're looking at a few areas to try to improve on or make it more desirable for people to come, and what that is and what that means.
Tammy,
So,
couldn't you give that to this young lady and let her put it out there online? That would be good for the community to see that.
yes, Hallie does help us. So when Vicki posts things, so Vicki is our social media person here, and she's handles all the Facebook and the marketing and publicity and such of all of what we do. But she will message Hallie once in a while too and say, hey, can you share these 2 things on the city's website? So that definitely helps us as well. Yeah, we work closely with Hallie to do that. So that's a little bit more awareness. They're not following our page, but they'll see it on the city's page, and then that drives them to check out more of what we're offering. So it's really great to be able to do that. That's a great point. In Strong Bodies, we had 22 people sign up now, which is larger than the last session we had. Again, New Year's resolutions, we'll see how far that carries out. But we're happy to have more people attending that class as well.
What time is that, or day?
The Strong Bodies, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 10:30 and 4:30.
And then you're starting at 7 a.m. one, did I see?
We are going to give that a try for the early birds. So Jenny Thorson and Jana Johnson, we sent to training. If you recall, we paid for them and sent them to that training through the money that we bring in with the Strong Bodies program and the grants that we have available. We actually got grant money for that last year, if you recall. And so I just actually emailed Jenny and I said, would you like to come in? They want to come in and be in a class before they go out and teach on their own, which I get. They just finished their training and so on.
Yeah.
But both of them, given their history of fitness, it's probably going to be no worries. So they're going to, Jenny's going to come in and do that, and at the 4:30 class with Steph, because when I go on vacation too, Steph's going to have to teach the day class, and then Jenny can take the night class. But then Jenny's like, so how about a 7 a.m. class? I was like, I'm not teaching 7 a.m. I'm just still waking up. And that's her. And I said, you know what? That's a great idea. I'll put it out in the next newsletter, which would be February, to say, you know, for your early risers, there's going to be a 7 a.m. call to sign up for that one. So if she gets, you know, minimum of 6, we say, to make it worth it for the instructor's time and such. That's the one Janet Thompson did really early in the morning, and she had upward to 20 people in that.
Would be before work kind of thing.
Before work kind of thing. So so we'll see what kind of a response we get for that. So,
What day of the week will that be?
I'm sorry?
What day of the week will that be?
The same
Tuesdays and
days. I
Thursdays.
think we're going to stick with Tuesdays and Thursdays. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be good to get out to the younger folk too, because
Yeah.
that would,
How to start your day,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. So yeah, our February newsletter, and I can just send you the PDF of it so that you can see what that is, and then get that out too. That would be great.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. All right.
I think new offerings.
We have Canasta, that is a new offering that's coming up, and we are open to we have games and puzzle tables now out that haven't been utilized yet. We're trying to fill some gaps on our Tuesdays and Thursdays, I would say, for any type of activity that would bring people in. We did have a couple groups come to us this past week and ask if they could come certain days, certain times, to play cards and different things that they're playing at home or in other places, and we're like, absolutely. So we'll be, getting them filled. That's kind of a quiet space right now, is what used to be really big, is our card playing and stuff, and now that's kind of getting a little bit smaller. So we're going to have to get creative in trying to think of what can we offer to them that would bring them in. And I would like to get, what my thoughts are is, for those people who are not quite to retirement yet but are getting there, what would bring you in? What would bring you here and when, and so trying to kind of market or figure out how are we going to capture that next group. What we did think of is, one thing is offering one more evening a month, like we have our Thursday. We're trying to think, do we offer one more evening a month where one of us would stay and offer some activities in the evenings, whether it's our art classes, whatever it is, just to get them in, and then ask them, hey, what else would bring you in? But again, we have the high school now doing their evening things, so we would want to differentiate ourselves from that, and not cross, or try to compete with that. That's, we got to complement, I guess, more than compete. So yeah. So
They're having 34 classes they're offering.
It's a lot to say.
unbelievable.
Yeah, the price, I did look,
It's
it's
pricey.
pricey compared to what,
pricey.
well, $60 or $70.
$70 for a class, yeah.
But some were more than one, I mean, it wasn't just one day, some were more than
Yeah,
one. some
yeah,
not.
like John Heckendorf, who
Right.
does ukulele and guitar here, he's doing that, and it's like,
He's
what,
4.
6 weeks, 4 weeks?
He said
Yeah,
4.
so there are some that are not just one and done.
Yeah,
Some of the art classes are a little bit higher, like artistry, I'm gonna say, than what we're offering here.
was there a way to see, because when I looked, all I saw were the names of the classes, I didn't see like a picture of the project. So.
I don't know if there's necessarily a specific picture to the project, just on that link where it shows like something that it might be, but I can
didn't even
ask.
see that, I just saw
Oh.
the names and a description, and then I thought, do I go in a different place?
There's some little icons that showed
Oh.
like the, yeah, well, I can send a link to everybody so you can see
That'd
that.
be great, 'cause
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I was in the wrong spot. but-
Yeah, I'll check, and I know Vicky and Steph were also looking on it and
Yeah.
stuff too, because we were more curious than anything about costs and offerings, and John was sharing some things with us too, and so, yeah, so we want to complement and add something different, not the same thing, so. And I'm sorry to say, but $70 art class here would not fly. So, maybe evening, maybe not, I don't know. But right now, I think that would not, so it's nice to have others that are offering those things, and we can stay concentrated on what,
Yep.
yeah, what our
Different
focus
options.
is, so, yeah. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. I know that Angie put a ton of work into it. She did a great job, so hopefully things will take off.
And Vicki did say that our D-stash is, I mean, we still needs more people.
We still
but-
need more, but we're getting, yeah, thanks for bringing that up, because this was already
Sure.
out. But the D-stash is, we're finally starting to get people, like at first it was kind of cold, and we're like, what's going on? And, why aren't people signing up? And I think it's because they didn't really understand what it was.
Yeah.
And so when Vic renamed it and got it more information out and started mailing and answering questions, then it's like, oh my gosh, this is a great idea. And so we are slowly getting that in where we're pretty sure we're gonna be able to run it. Yeah, we will definitely run it. It might not be as huge as our craft and, market. It might not be that big.
Yeah.
But I do believe that people are gonna wanna start cleaning out their closets. And they're like, oh my gosh, this is a great idea. I have so much stuff, and, apparently once you're an artist and crafter, you have lots of stuff.
Yeah.
And then you change, and then you put one aside. Yeah.
I'll be there.
Okay, good.
You know, to buy or sell.
Both.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, see, and that's the other thing
Yeah.
Vicki said too, like, you're gonna be selling, but you might be like, oh, I could use some of that, and so it'll be a really unique offering, and I think Vicki had seen it offered down like in the Madison area, if I'm not mistaken, or something, and thought, what about this? I'm like, it sounds cool. So yeah, we're looking forward to that. And that's again, that so many people are doing so many of the same things, you wanna grab something that's a little bit unique. So yeah, we're excited, hopefully that'll keep going.
And that's in March, so that's not too far away.
No,
Yeah.
just around the corner.
Yeah.
There wouldn't be any vendors at that then, or would there be vendors? at
No,
that?
no, that's a good question. That's strictly,
I meant like if So Smart wants to get rid of,
well, if she individually wanted
Wanted
to,
to.
yeah, but not to promote her
Yeah.
business or anything, but just to
Okay.
get rid of her
Clean the
stuff.
closet.
Yeah, yeah, so we're excited about that. All right, anything else that in all of those, the operations part that I didn't cover that you were thinking I might?
Could I
Well,
just,
yes,
could I just ask, ever since we built this place, I've kind of wondered if we do justice to the store that you have, with so many beautiful artifacts and things for sale there. Are you satisfied with the way the availability of it to the larger audience often enough to satisfy the people who want to put things in there for sale?
That's a great question.
Because, when we built this, the premise, I think, was, well, even at the other place, that we wanted to give people an opportunity in the basement of City Hall at the time, give people who have talents and skills to make things to sell, not always to make money, but just to offer some value to it. And even when we were in City Hall, we were questioning whether we were making it available to a sufficiently broad customer base. And then when we built this place, we thought we were going to do that with the number of people going through this place more than over there, of course.
Yeah, yes.
And are you satisfied that? Because I think some of us have often wondered, if I put something in your store, the number of people that are going to see it seems minimal to me, at least.
No, it's actually, people just come into the craft shop. They'll come in and walk into the craft shop and shop and then leave.
Yeah.
So there's that. But there's also, well, Gigi's classes.
Yeah.
There's new people coming in all the time and they're like, I just heard of this place, or I knew of it, but I never stopped in. And I didn't know you had a craft shop. So they're coming in for other things and they're realizing, and then they go in there and they're like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And so then that word of mouth spreads, and that's what we want. Is like, it's just that one person who walks out going, did you know that? And then you can put your items in there. And then twofold to that is the fact that we sell things in there for $2 all the way up to $100 and some, right? So it's not just a high-end shop, I guess, is where I'm going. It's a variety of things that people make, and they set their own prices, and then we just add our 15% on. So I do think yes, I am satisfied with what it is, and we will continue to outreach, and we don't like to turn anything away that people bring in, but if they bring something in that's a really hefty price point, Vicki, and she's pretty honest with them to say, we will absolutely put it in and promote it. We put pictures in our newsletter, we put things on Facebook of new items that come in, but we are a frugal market as a whole, right? And we are honest with people about that, to know that but all it takes is that one right person walking in. And we've always said, oh, I don't know if this is gonna sell. And as soon as we say that, somebody walks in and out it goes, and we're like, yay! You know? So we can't promise anything, I guess, is the fact. But we bring things in and allow
Everyone
people
else
to
has
do-
left the call.
Okay.
That was my phone.
That was shouting.
Well, everything we've suggested along the line that would necessitate some new construction around here doesn't seem to go very far. But, you know, from day one, we thought the door that's right here would have been better at the very end of the wall, where you could block off this coming this way with a gate and let people who come here for, well, these damnable gun shows bring 1,000 people in here, and sometimes there's 50 women sitting in the back of the room here with nothing, because they're here just to be here. And I've sat there with them and they've asked about, is there something we could get to look at in this place? And obviously we're not open for that purpose.
Right.
And I guess that's why I thought if there was a door down at the very end, into the hallway, you know, instead of being just here, down there where you could put a steel gate across in front of it so people could at least get into that room. Because otherwise, if there's 1,000 people in the expo center, nobody can get into that room. And it's been that way. We thought that from day one.
Yeah, we've talked about that before. So the solution to that I would propose is that one of us would have to come in and get paid to be here to offer that. Is it a bad idea? No, because we just have to take time off during that payroll or by the end of the year to balance all of that out. So we've talked a little bit about during other events or different things of maybe one of us should be here for a couple hours and just promote it somehow, that we would be open for that, 3 hours on a Saturday or Sunday when there's something going on. So it's feasible, we can certainly try it and see if it's worth paying one of us to be here, if it's worth it or not. And it might not be immediately worth it, but it might be that word of mouth worth it, that they stopped, and so it's hard to measure sometimes that exactly, you just have to go with it and hope that it helps.
Well, I'm just, in school, what we did is we built a door, we built a new door down the hall and then put a steel gate
Yeah.
across it.
And I think we
So
broached that subject before.
We did 5
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah,
But the more we bring people in here, I just keep seeing more and more people maybe would go in there and buy something if they could get in there, but it's not really a valid assumption anymore because.
Well, I don't know if we necessarily need a gate, because we would just have a sign, if the people who were renting that are okay with us doing that and piggybacking. That's the other thing I just thought of. So Arnie with the auctions, if I would ask his permission. Are you okay with me having a sign out there that says MEC Craft Shop is open today from this time to this time, and allow that up? And then, you know, we could do that for a little bit and see if it works. I'm not sure we would necessarily need a gate. And then
lock all those other doors.
yeah, we can
Right.
lock all of our internal doors. Yeah, yep.
What about for the, like, the just as an example, the RD stash that you would be promoting, would it be open for something like that?
Always, yeah, because we'll be here.
Okay.
Yeah, yep. Anytime we're here for the day,
Yeah.
that's open. Yeah, yeah.
I know from a seller standpoint, a
Yes.
couple of times I brought stuff in, I try to get my stuff here before a craft show, or when I know there's gonna be a lot of people here.
Mhm.
And I'm sure I'm not the only one that does that.
Right, and people who may not realize that, Vicky will plant that seed and say, hey, just so you know, we're having, so you might want to get some things in, because that, or people want to take things out sometimes, and we're like, well, maybe wait for a minute and see what happens after the show, and then we let them take that out. So yeah, or they come and get it out after. So yeah, that's true, it's about timing.
The other thing, what I'd like to say as a seller also is that it's a really fair, the 15%
Oh, yeah.
compared to
Mhm.
all, other places where you can sell. It's 30 to 40% they take, and then you have to, up your price or whatever.
Which way
Yeah.
you gonna go?
Which way, or you just
Right.
don't get as much back.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it's,
Right.
that's a good.
It
point
is a
to-
perk.
Yeah,
Mhm.
a perk, yeah.
Mhm. And then,
Does
yes.
everybody who comes here, you keep talking about the number of people who are coming to the programs down in the other end, and everybody has to come through and sign in now, don't they?
Correct,
So they are exposed to the
Yes.
building itself. But
yes.
I guess I brought it up, I was here for a wedding several months ago,
Oh, okay.
and, it was the same thing, the place was jammed full of people, and I kept thinking, golly, if I could get these people to go in that store, we could sell a ton of stuff.
We're gonna get you on payroll, Gene, and you can work the cash.
You couldn't afford me.
I always felt that was a little awkward though, if they're having a wedding or a reception, to be like, hey, come and spend your money at our craft shop. But the auction makes sense. The auction might make sense. They can't bargain. So there's
Right,
that.
right.
It's
They're
just, this is
buying
the
anyway.
price,
And
right?
if you've
It's-
sat through those auctions, most of the people there are like, what? It's $2? That's a lot of money.
Oh, my.
It's pretty bottom
Yes,
line.
yes, you gotta get the deal at an auction, yeah. I actually enjoy auctions.
All right.
All right, great conversations, great questions.
Anything for next time for
Yes,
discussion?
anything that you wanna make sure, yeah.
One thing I wanted to, just with regards to the minutes and the outline, you said we have to somehow get hooked into the city to get these now?
Oh, yes, okay, so I wanted to ask you all that. Okay, so when I go on to our new civic clerk system, which I have a great relationship with. I will say, starting the new year was better. I was really happy. And I'm not the only one, which also makes me feel better. But the great thing about it is when you can publish and email your committee. So when I did, it said it's published and emailed to your members. What I failed to know is that you all have to sign up. So if you would like, I can send you the link that Lori sent to me, and then you sign up for that, and then when I go ahead and publish, you would get it right away. If you don't want to do that, I can make it a habit to just do what I used to do all the time and email you as a group. So it's okay if you don't want to bother with it.
No,
So,
send us the link, please.
You want the
That-
link?
That would
Sure.
be, that would be great.
okay, yeah, I will send it, and if you choose to not want to monkey around, that's okay. And then I will still, for a while, still email them, and yeah.
And when you sign up for those, you can also click on like the Historic Preservation Committee or this common council if you want to get those ones as well. You can sign up for them.
Get
that way, so they
everything.
automatically
Whatever you-
email to you.
Whatever
when-
you choose to want to
Brilliant.
get the information. Thank you, Hallie.
Let's
Yeah,
do it. Is it the minutes or
Nope, you get the agenda.
the agenda.
what
And then-
about your attachments?
I think I can
Those-
attach the minutes as well.
Yep, the minutes from the last meeting, the agenda, and then any documents that's uploaded.
Yep.
So it'll be on the left side.
Perfect.
That's nice.
Yeah,
Yep,
that's
it
an-
works out really nice.
That's
Yeah.
an improvement.
It does,
Yeah.
it does, so.
Send
yeah,
the
so
link.
hopefully it'll be user-friendly for y'all. Because you just have to get the information, not input it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you'll send us a link on how to do that?
Yes, I'll forward the link.
Is it any
from-
more than putting our email address in
No, I don't believe so.
and checking what we want?
Yeah, your name, email, I don't even think it asks for your phone number, and then check what you want.
Yeah, I think it's just your email, name and email,
Keep it
right?
simple.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then everything comes to you with attachments that you have to
Yep.
download?
I don't even think you have to download.
Oh, that would be good. I'm so tired of downloading things. I can't even, I'm like 85% of my Google storage. You know?
No, I don't even think you have to download.
So we
Yeah.
can just print right away if we want to.
Even better.
That's better, yeah.
Well, it
Let's
waits
do
to
it.
be seen, right? We'll see.
Yeah,
We'll
let's-
practice.
Let's try it.
I'll send you a fake document, like, this is a pretend, see if you get it.
Along that line, I entered Good Sam on November 1st. I have not done anything with my computer since November 1st. I have 1,342
Emails?
junk emails on, it's overwhelming,
Oh, yeah,
you know?
The problem is, the 1,343rd one was the important one you were
Yeah.
supposed to
Yeah, but
respond
you don't
to.
even see
You
it
can't
in
even find
that
it.
mail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right. I remember the days of cleaning out your inbox and stuff, and then, you know, you were good, and yeah, there's no control over it anymore.
So it'll just show up as an email from you or the city? then?
City.
From the city?
It'll just say, agenda published,
Perfect.
and then it'll say, MEC committee or marketing committee, common
Yeah.
council.
Mhm.
It says it right in the email.
Awesome.
It's pretty slick, yeah. So I will get that to you.
One thing just for next month.
Yes.
Just to, we should have a discussion on the health fair.
Oh, yes, so we didn't get as good of a response from that, but I think our mistake was it was too far out that we started letting people know about it. And you know how that goes, right? So I revised our flyer, and they're going out with the newsletters. We decided to put them out with the newsletters this time. We didn't do that last time. We were specific because if you recall, Elizabeth, your idea was great. It's like we made that effort to bring them to X amount of, you know, places in town. So they were aware of it, and we only got a few responses. So now we're gonna just send it out. So the health department's on board. ADRC might be on board as well. I'm not positive about that. But now we're gonna go with
So
it.
then you'll know more maybe next time.
Yes,
Yeah.
I should know more for sure.
Okay.
If not before, and if I find before they start coming in, I'll definitely keep you on top of. I really want that to happen. If it's not gonna happen in April in the spring, then we'll shoot again for fall or summer or fall. We'll keep on that because I think it's a very important event to run, and I know that other communities have run it with a lot of success. Okay, so yeah, we're not just gonna let it die. We're gonna keep it alive, so. Okay, anything else?
Next meeting's the 20th of February, not the 16th.
Oh,
16th is Sunday.
Yeah, 20th is a Thursday.
20th,
The third Thursday, right?
yes,
Okay.
6 times.
yes, my
From
apologies.
Thursday.
Why is that there?
Because today's the 16th.
Because,
It
yeah,
is
it's the 16th.
January 16th.
That would be why. That would be why. Okay, so yes, the 20th. Thank you, Jay.
All right, make a motion to adjourn. Anyone? Sharon?
Second.
Second, Carol. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Good to see everybody.